You're. What's up? All right, I did like a little mini intro. There's no intro to the podcast. We're just gonna talk. I guess the first thing I do want to say with starting this podcast is rest in peace, Wreckful. I don't know if a lot of you guys, they're quiet. Oh, let me raise that. Let me raise the volume. I know a lot of you guys, watch or know who that is. He's a streamer. I watched him occasionally. I really liked his background. I believe he took his life today, or at least today it came out that that's what happened. Man, y'all really need to don't downplay your mental health. Don't downplay anything that you're going through. Like please, bro. Like please take care of yourselves, man. Like I just want to stress that. Hashtag rest in peace, Wreckful. And yeah, bro, that the shit is like last night, because I don't know how long y'all stayed up like looking at everything happening, because it was all like blowing like back like early in the morning with like the D1, all that shit being exposed, whatever. I was afraid of what the fuck I was gonna wake up to the next morning, and it being that, man. Okay, hold up. I hold on. I gotta mute. Hey yo, I'm Dante. My nigga. Hold on. Nigga, bro, you I guess you're getting me back. It makes sense. Now it's come back to him just like, bro, why did you swing on me? God damn, bro. Dog, thank you so much, bro. I hope you're doing well. I feel I've seen you just, mind your own business, doing your own thing. I fucks with that. We need a lot of that right now, bro. Make sure you guys check out the boy I'm Dante. Makes really good content. Mods, if you don't mind, please link the boy. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you. So that lifted me up a bit, because like we're getting to some serious topic shit, and I was getting in horse stance. You didn't have to do that, but it really meant a lot to me, bro. It meant more than you fucking knew. And you were quick with that shit. I blinked. I'm like, yo, I'm Dante. I'm just seeing it back to back to back. It didn't register me what you just did. Thank you so much, bro. Please, mods, link my boy's Twitter, my boy's YouTube, my boy's Twitch. Check out I'm Dante. Okay. Sorry.
There was like a mega thread. I was like, jeez.
Yeah, bro, I was scrolling through that shit waiting for it to end. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, so sorry about that. I had to, yeah, something happened. But, can one of you guys check and see? Because, oh, you're muted. That makes sense. All right. Let's try this.
Low.
Let's try this all over again. Let's try this all over again. Like still low. Y'all are hearing them from my headphones. This is how good my headphones are. They just leaked all that volume, bro. Yeah. Anywho.
God.
How do we even how do you even redo that? How do you redo that? Well, look, we're talking about a lot of shit that's happened. One more time, warning. Some of it might be triggering depending on the details we get into. I do want to talk about this kind of on a case-per-case basis, because I want to make sure these fuck yous are potent, and we address each person and how that's fucked up, and how this shit, like just pretty much reiterating why each person is fucked for X, Y, and Z, because this shit should not be overlooked from none of the people being accused. Like whether, like, I guess there's some cases, which is only one, right, with the anti. Is there another one that's like it's being not anti? What was it? It was somebody. It was zero, where it was accused that he did something, but there's not a lot coming out where he didn't give his side yet.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be unfold while we're in the podcast.
Yeah, like stuff like that's going to be shaky, but we're going to go through like one by one in our opinions, etc. And I guess I do want to start with Cinnpie. That's okay. Your name.
Yeah.
So
who cares?
You spin. Who in here knows? I know a lot of people like go back and forth with like, I followed her. I think Balvin. I think you followed her once upon a time too. I don't know if like.
I've spoken to.
Yeah, me and Omega were probably the people that had actual relationships with her.
I was pretty friendly with her before, obviously, all this shit came out.
Right.
So to me, with my whole experience regarding that, I think I've been friends with her for like maybe a couple years now. And when I first heard about, what had happened, like I was shocked because like Balvin actually DM'd me something on Discord, and it was from a dude named Puppe who said my experience with Cinnpie, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I click on it, and then I'm reading through, and then my initial reaction is like, dude, there's no way, because the story is about a 24-year-old woman named Cinnpie, who we're talking about now, who made sexual advances towards a 14-year-old boy by the name of Puppe. And it's disgusting to read. And if you guys want to go ahead and read the account for yourself, you're more than welcome to. But it is disturbing to read that is something that an adult could do to a child, right? So initially, what I'm thinking is like, okay, so there's got to be something here that's blown out of proportion. Like I don't like, because this is a person that I knew, and she was so active and outspoken on Twitter about social injustices with Black Lives Matter and like supporting people speaking out. Her name literally was Cinnpie Speak Up. Like that was her name on Twitter for the longest time. So I foolishly gave her the benefit of the doubt because this was somebody that I knew and that I trusted. And reading that, it really hurt me that somebody that I knew and trusted could do something like that. And then I went into the comments, and that's where I got sick.
Yeah, that's just horrible.
Yeah, that's the topic for later. I want to cover at some point tonight is like how it's cancel everybody, but then when you know them, it's like there's that extra layer of defense where you're like, it can't be this. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll talk about it later. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah.
So when I read the replies and people saying like, oh, like I've been hearing about this for a while. I'm glad it's finally out now. I'm like, how could y'all know about a 24-year-old adult taking advantage of a 14-year-old boy and not have done something about this before?
Yeah.
That was fucked up. Between those in the comments calling him lucky for that happening, that's
wild. That shit right there is wild.
I think the one thing that's the big disconnect that people don't understand, it's like at that age, right? And that's the first time you're experiencing this. And this is to shut down that statement because people don't understand, they don't get it, right? You're 15, you're dealing with somebody that has so much more experience than you. They're like essentially making you feel all these type of things that you really shouldn't be feeling at this age because it's not like a normal relationship. She's not going to be with you like that. It's not a legal relationship. So at this point, like you're going crazy for this girl, right? There's all this mental damage that's happening and you're seeing her sleep with all these, like you're seeing her not be with you. And like he made a statement that bothered me a lot where he played doubles with her and her boyfriend while all that shit was going on and shit like that. It's like that does some actual fucking damage. Like people are so fixated on this like this macho perspective of things, just like, hey, you got laid. It's like, bro, that disconnect is disturbing to me. Like how can you not put two and two together? Like how is that okay? Like how is that okay to say comfortably? Like no matter where you are.
When you see the kid at that age,
bro, we see him.
He doesn't even
look for like
he looks like a baby. Yeah. Like reading the story was like disgusting in itself, and then when they posted that picture of him sitting there and the headphones were like eating his whole head because he was so like small, and I was like,
you see like someone actually went back and like search like Smash VOD like compilations, and you see the interactions with them in the background.
Yeah,
it's wild too. In a crowd of people, bro. How does someone not say like, "Hey, yo, stop hanging out with that kid"?
The thing is, like, when you see, like, usually, like, a girl with, like, a child, like, no one really thinks, like, something such as that is happening, you know? Like, you really think it's like, oh, she's looking out for him. You don't really think something such as that is happening, you know?
My thought process is, like, she could, in that video, look 16-ish, but, like, some people there have to fucking know her.
Bro, she was, like, twice this size.
Have to know both of them in their ages. Like, it's...
And what was happening not on stream?
Hold on, do you have the video?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that after it was.
Yeah, they're on.
Oh, I think we know what was happening.
Right there.
If you look at the video, it's like her like hugging up on him, and like she's not letting him out of her sight. Like she's grabbing his arm, like taking her wherever she goes. It's like she clearly is like she literally controls the situation.
What I want to know is how did nobody in that room look at that situation and just no one question it? That's what
literally a crowd of people and everyone's just like chilling.
Yeah,
it's like the one thing I will say is like how she's carrying herself with this kid in that manner. It's like you can't tell it's hard for me to look at her and be like she's 24.
Figure like at that point, like looking in on it when I saw it, but like with the context, it looked weird.
Quick, just because I feel weird about it, are you guys showing this on stream or no?
I'm on stream.
I'm not.
I don't think it's a problem if you do show it. I'm just not.
I remember this clip.
This is all footage. It's nothing. It's nothing. These are public.
Like
you're fine.
Like in its own, like you'll look at this and be like, what's the big deal? But this adds context to the fact because we didn't say one detail, right? She got ousted by what was his name? Zach or somebody else, right? Puppet, right? Yeah, she got ousted by Puppet, and she still hasn't said anything, right? So amongst her not saying anything, these videos arise to prove the claims even further that this does not look right. You know what I'm saying? Like this looks fucking odd, right?
And the fact that she changed her Twitter name from Speak Up to Do Your Best.
Okay. So I need context because I wasn't like looking at her Twitter. That happened right after.
Right after that when she changed it. Yeah.
Her name
I
was
want to
Speak
point
Up for
something
like
out
weeks.
too. Hold on, I want to put something out too. I'm posting in the chat.
Bro, this right here, I'm talking to stream with this because like the clip like where she's like holding his like because you mentioned this right, but it's like she grabs him, she's like pulling him and shit like that. Like, this is bothersome as fuck. Okay, I'm done looking at this.
I agree that you should post the pictures because like I think the people that are like in the dark, they need to understand like the severity of what's going. Like us not posting the pictures is like at some point it is kind of like looking out for the best interest of whoever like maybe watching trigger warnings, whatever. But at the same time, you need to understand.
I'm posting some
I'm
of
not
it.
showing it right now because I literally can't. My stream isn't set up for it right now.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to point something out.
Yeah.
I got curious. So I went to like to see analytics on Twitter to see like if people are unfollowing and whatever. And I noticed I can't tell if that's 32 people that blocked her or she actually unfollowed 32 people in the past like days. So that means that's blocked.
I'm pretty sure
because when you block somebody, you unfollow them too. But like I noticed that today.
From as far as I'm concerned, I don't because apparently she retweeted something after, right? But I don't think she touched any of that.
So here's my thing, and this might be hearsay. This is how I'm 90% sure I remember it. But I hit her page before she hit her page, and I swear she had a bunch of retweets and tweets about believe victims and speaking out, and she was retweeting the tweets supporting all of them. They're not there anymore. She went back and unretweeted all those when she changed her name and all that shit. Like I don't know, man.
Okay, now that's odd. That's very odd.
Like, not that changing her name by itself and all the other evidence wasn't enough, but nothing screams on guilty like going dark and doing all that shit. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and she did like a tweet towards her in one of the threads.
Now, like one thing I want to talk about hypothetically, right? Because it's something that we are likely to see, and I want to know everybody's opinion on that, right? Because especially we look at her case, because apparently she was known for talking about her mental health, correct? Prior to this, and it wasn't good. So it's very likely with a lot of people being exposed for the caliber what they're getting exposed for and the hate that they're getting, that someone might do that, right? How do you think that is going to be received within the gaming climate, like with what I'm saying, like how do you think people are going to take that? Like let's say if Cinnpie or somebody who's being accused did something to themselves because of this. How do you think that's going to be received?
I mean, honestly, like
that's very interesting that you said that because Nairo sent a message to Sam after everything happened.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that was like really scary because obviously what he did was disgusting, but obviously suicide is never something that I want to advocate for. Like somebody shouldn't be losing their life. Like, that's still a life.
It's a very delicate situation because like at the same time you want to make sure that those people are, they can't be put in a position to do what they did as well. But you don't want to drive them to the point of taking their lives. So like,
well, it's like I'm not really talking for us, right? Because in our perspective, I feel like we're on the same page where, this shit's fucked. But I don't think anybody here, from me knowing y'all, wants somebody to die in general. But I'm saying, how do you think? Because right now you see the mob. You see the mob. Do you think people are going to be like? Do you think it's going to be more on one side of saying that like I didn't want this to happen, I'm sad this happened, or like good riddance? Because people that
absolutely
some people are going to be that way.
You think it's going to be
That's what I was
split,
gonna say. Like,
or do you think it's going to be one
the internet, bro? Like it's going to be a split. Like there's going to be the people that are like still on her side right now, or whoever, like still on their side, and then there's going to be people that are like, just over the top, like good. You know what I mean?
Not to derail the subject, but there was a guy who this morning, the Rectful guy, committed suicide. And he didn't, as far as I'm aware, he didn't even have a pedophile allegation. He was just getting hit in Twitch chat a lot with people telling him to off himself for one reason or the other. He was a bigger streamer or something like that.
I
Like,
saw a
that
clip of that, so it was just random. They did that. Do you know?
Apparently, the last thing he tweeted was, I think he hasn't seen his girlfriend for like 6 months or something, and I guess he proposed to her on Twitter.
On Twitter,
and
yeah.
then a lot of people were giving him shit about it, and that was like the last thing he put.
But he'd always been a guy with like some mental health issues and stuff that he needed to work on, and he just never got there, I guess.
Well, and apparently his brother also committed suicide.
His brother, oh damn,
Yeah,
like a while back, I think I read. Yeah, I don't know, just messed up all around.
I don't know. I don't know enough about that man or his streams or anything to speak on.
Yeah,
I just know that.
Yeah,
I said my condolences, and I didn't know much about him.
yeah.
My only point with this was that he didn't have an entire community against him at all. He was just a fucking guy who streamed, right? And then with this Cinnpie, there are absolutely going to be people pushing Cinnpie to that kind of thing, and other people of the like.
I got you. I was just curious to see like what people thought like it was gonna go one way or the other, but split. I guess I can see split because like, the normal circumstance, right?
Disagree. I don't think it's going to be split. I think more people would not want somebody to kill themselves regardless.
Mm-hmm.
See, I hope, but like how
I
you
would
see in
hope
the
so, but
average
it's
situation,
Twitter, man. On Twitter, it's just
no. You're going.
Are we talking real
obviously.
people as well or trolls? That's I was gonna say, we're talking real people.
It's gonna be people.
I think actual human beings. Nobody's going to be happy that somebody took their life, regardless.
Yeah.
Like when I say that, I'm not talking about the anime Avi user 456. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like the actual people that have like a decent following type.
Really,
shit.
real talk, because I think I'm the only one who feels like this right now. Those are pedophiles. Like if you like take Cinnpie out of the equation entirely, think of some 35-year-old creepy guy who is a repeat offender for touching kids. That's a pedophile.
Yeah.
People are happy when those people die. Like I'm not saying it's us. I'm not saying it's me. But there are absolutely people in the world out there who are very happy when people like that have bad things happen.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
That's 100%. But the thing is, like, this is like what 2 days old now or 3 days old, fresh news. People are still like grieving and handling the fact that somebody they looked up to is a pedophile, right? So like, as a week passes, people, not everyone at least, is going to be like, yeah, off yourself, if somebody you like for not the Nairo and shit, right? Fuck them guys, all of them, right? But this is still very fresh.
Yeah,
on people's emotions.
Left a lot of people fucked up.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's no pity here. It's just like, damn, like I'm heartbroken over this.
Another thing that I want to say that I think supports my theory that more people would be upset at somebody killing themselves is when Nairo sent that message to Sam Sora, it really sounded like he was going to kill himself.
Yep. That was why I brought it up. I'm just like, what happened?
If you look in that thread, everybody was like, even though like everybody hates Nairo right now, people were like, yo, Sam Sora, like check on him, make sure he's not gonna harm himself. Nobody wants that. Most people don't want that.
The scary thing is like it was that message I saw from Sam Sora, but the fact that like his Twitter was gone,
Yeah, like that. I legit, like, because I was so furious with Nairo when that came out, especially because he paid Zach hush money to stay quiet about it and made Zach to be the bad guy during all of this. But I saw that message.
We're here now, so let's really talk about the Nairo because I think we're kind of like.
Hold up. Yeah. But when I saw that message, my heart sank because I was like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and he's gonna be gone. And obviously, like I don't agree with him, and I don't want him to have a platform anymore. But I don't want him dead.
Yeah. So let's talk about like the whole Nairo situation.
One thing I do want to say, so we kind of stay in the same realm. This might be a hot take depending, but I feel like it's kind of important, and you can counter me if you want to. Everything that we're going to be talking about, which I think we can agree is mainly affected within the Smash scene, right? A lot of stuff has been coming out lately, but a lot came out last night with a lot of people that we've watched, and a lot of people who watch me and whoever else is streaming right now in Squad have watched as well too. So that's kind of what we're touching on. For the sake of the repercussions that happen with this after, I feel like now this is kind of like a left statement in general because it's more of a greater or grandiose statement, but I feel like it's important to remind people that this is happening within the Smash scene and not the gaming scene.
No, that is. I don't know if that's
I think
true.
it's important to say that this is happening in the Smash scene, but this can't be happening in every scene.
That's true.
Video game. This is. I mean,
this is happening everywhere.
Okay, but
right now we're talking about Smash.
But here's why I'm saying this in regards to like the amount of people that come out recently in Smash, because I feel like there's gonna be real repercussions for like the scene and like just opportunities for making this into something for just like the regular the new starter, right? Like I feel like a lot of people are going to not trust gaming as a whole who don't know the situation. So I feel like it's important. Like
but here's the thing, they shouldn't. Like I'm 100% on the side of like there's no doubt in my mind that every community, I don't give a fuck what League of Legends,
basketball, music, like it's in everything.
Every community has this.
Yeah, 100%. 100% they definitely do. 100% definitely do. It's just, I mean, I don't know. We can get into that later.
No,
that's a different
topic. I see where you're coming from, because I was struggling with this myself, because I don't want anybody to blindly trust creators, right?
Yeah.
But again, like I want to be in a situation where I want to create change for the better, and I want to really bring credibility back to Smash. How can I ask people to trust me when everybody else that they trusted betrayed them? You know what I'm like? I understand that.
I've been toying around with saying or tweeting all fucking week something along the lines of that shit you see where people tweet out like, "Oh, I'm an ally. You can come to me if you need me. You know, if you're at a party, hit me up." But like, if you don't know me from a hole in the wall, you know me a lot less than a lot of these people knew their abusers before they got abused. So like, you have no obligate. Like, I'm no different from anybody else in that.
We kind of talked about that the other day, and I was kind of saying like, especially when it comes to online stuff and like creators and Twitters, like you, even like for me, you only see what I want you to see on my Twitter. You have no idea who I am beyond that.
So
like it's all curated.
I was thinking about how to like phrase that, right? Because a lot of people, you know, no matter what you look subconsciously like to something, like you want to look up to something, right? And I think the best thing that you can do to the people that, you know, are being affected by looking up to these people that are getting exposed right now, because it happens, like, it's not your fault for looking up to somebody that you thought was somebody else. Try, instead of looking outward to something else, look at yourself. Try to focus on being the person you can look up to, right? And then take little things that people have done in their accomplishments, stuff that can't be, you know, disregarded. Like, somebody made it here, that inspired me, so I'm gonna make it here. You know what I'm saying? Try to look inwards instead of outwards, so that way you can kind of protect yourself, protect your peace, and you know, not get really hurt by shit like this happens now. Like, everybody's human in the day. So it's like, I think the best thing you can do is be the best human you can be, and be somebody you're just like, yeah, I'm fucking glad to be what I'm glad I did what I did. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the best piece of advice I can give for this situation right now. Like, I get some people out there are trying to be the best role models they can be, but it's like, I feel like you just got to make sure you we guide people in the right direction. Like, if somebody's trying to like let you be like, yeah, I'm the best creator out here, or have any hints to like, look at me, I'm better than X, Y, and Z, that's a red flag. And just, you know what I'm saying, I just want to put that out there, because I'm now seeing creators in a lot of aspects are very manipulative in ways that I'm just now learning of. So
and Afro, to go back to the point that you kind of started with, you don't know, streamer, not however many hours you see them on a camera a day, you don't know anybody, right? Like, Omega's live all the time, but you might not know Omega. Like, and that's the problem that you see, is when people get outed as abusers, if they have a big enough fan base, like with Syndicate, a bunch of kids watch Syndicate play Minecraft for like 10 fucking years, right? They think that they know Syndicate. And they're like, Syndicate can never do this. And then he's got a whole wall of people, but like, you don't know any of these people. And I think that in itself blinds a lot of people, because they think, because they watch them so many hours a day, that like, they're practically friends or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, they think they got the whole attitude and everything down, and it warps them, and then it makes it a lot harder for people to come out, which is why you see questions all the time, like, why didn't they come out sooner when it actually happened? And it's like, well, they get harassed by people like you, so I don't.
Please don't be mad with me.
We're not
I came
mad.
in here.
Oh, we're definitely not mad.
I had to get in here.
Bro, I thought that was Balvin. I'm like, Balvin, what are you talking about? Oh shit! Welcome everybody. The boy, the mighty Keith, sliding through. He was a guest before, and now he's he's in here. He can join whenever. It's freedom. You know what I'm saying?
Because I've been seeing what he's been saying on Twitter, and I really want to see his input.
I know. I kind of just
actually
jumped in here.
You actually knew Cinnpie, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So how did that go? I'm pretty sure you tried to hit her up immediately after this shit went out, right?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing any of that.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
So here's my thing, right?
Right.
And again, I apologize. I kind of just jumped in this bit.
Nah, bro.
Yeah,
You got the keys. You got the keys, bro.
Because although I just make videos that I still am pretty big in the Smash community, or I'm part of it. Excuse me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and that's like my passion still. There's the people that I love that are my friends, who I thought were friends for a long time. And so, somebody was kind of harping on the point I was going to make anyway, which I was happy with. It might have been Omega. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But someone started with saying, hey, you got to understand, even though you love these people, they're not like gods, right? You have to understand that you still have to be your own person. It's nice to like people, but don't idolize people. Don't put them in some light where they are like a paragon of good. They just can't do no wrong, because that's impossible. When Cinnpie got found out, or when got exposed, that crushed a lot of us, because she was like a very vocal woman in the community, which is what we need in gaming and what we need in Smash for sure.
Yeah.
And I'll take it even a step further. And I talked to Inferno Omni. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's I said she's one of the only black women that are very verbal in Smash, and that's also very strong, because again, racism is very apparent. Just in gaming, it happens, and for her to be so vocal and a minority, it was like a +3 for us. It was like a very good help. And for her to turn and do stuff like this, it just hurts. It hurts all causes. It hurts women. It hurts minorities. It hurts just in general everything. Because we thought she was so good. Because we said, all right, this persona we see on Twitter, it's so happy-go-lucky, haha. She makes horny tweets. It's funny, haha. But in reality, she was sexually active, or sexually charged, probably at a young age, and just has always been this deviant, this sexual deviant. And apparently to all the let's see, the guy named Glyph Money, he made what's it called, a twit longer and everything. She has been a terrible person for a while, and it just kept getting pushed under the rug, and it broke me. It broke a lot of us, because that was someone we considered a friend for sure.
Dude, that was like the veil being ripped off aggressively. Like, I wasn't like super personal with her, but we've known each other for a while. And like you said, she was always so outspoken on Twitter, like talking about, her name was literally Speak Up on Twitter.
Correct.
Like just to have that,
and
to have that demon, it was just like,
she's fake as fuck.
That was brutal for me.
Yeah. The thing is, I never even, like, this is me learning for the. I knew about like Nairo, a bunch of other people. With her, like, to me, I just knew one of my friends like had some type of feelings for her. So I'm just like, I'm gonna follow. I'm supporting. I want to see what happens. So it's like I wasn't.
You're saying that you knew Nairo existed.
Oh yeah. That's what I meant. Like I knew about Nairo. Like I didn't know too much about the Smash scene, so I knew about selective people. So like in that front, like, I don't know. Hearing this, like, I understand a lot more about that. I don't know. Anyways, go on.
I think we're in the middle of talking about the Nairo situation, I think.
Yeah, we just started.
Yeah.
So what was the order, right? It was her. Was anybody before her?
It was her and then Nairo. Well, yeah, there was plenty of people before her.
Like in Smash, though?
Yeah, I think it was Skullgirls, like, was the first, like, FGG.
The Mixie's always been on some fuck shit.
Okay,
Gotcha.
So I mean, if you're going back to the dawn of time, and by the dawn of time I mean a week and a half ago, it was that Rage guy from the Destiny community.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people in Destiny started getting outed, and then the industry, and then somehow we wound up in the Smash hole.
Okay. Gotcha.
Well, so it got really popular because of Cinnpie, and this has been going on for probably the past month. Girls have been coming out for at least the past month in the Smash community alone, talking about, maybe even a month and a half, talking about sexual harassment and things of that nature. I think right before Cinnpie, the most notable person was a guy named J-Tails.
Yeah, it was
that's true.
Yeah, he did a lot of videos back in Brawl and in Smash 4 and Ultimate, and people knew him. He was a content creator for the most part, but he was also a very decent player. And then he admitted to everything, apparently, which is what I just found out. But I knew chronologically it happened before Cinnpie. And then Cinnpie happened, and literally not even 24 hours later, apparently like 2 or 3 in the morning, the shit drops with Nairo. I'm sleeping, so I have no idea what's going on. I wake up to tweet saying Nairo is suicidal, etc., etc. So my first thing is Nairo okay? What's going on? And then that's when I find out he deleted his Twitter, and I find out Captain Zach had this long twit longer of everything, and that's just when my world was like,
because the worst part about it is you said you were asleep. Like an hour before that twit longer came out, Nairo made a tweet saying, "I'm tired of dealing with this. It's been a year. Like, I'm innocent. Get off me. Whatever." Essentially, like condemning Zach and made Zach out to be the bad guy. And then, like an hour later, Zach says, "Fuck it, I can't be quiet anymore."
Yeah.
Wait. When he said that, was he responding to Zach or someone else?
I just put it in chat.
I think it was Zach.
Yeah. He quote tweeted Zach.
Yeah, that's it.
He basically had Zach defend him and then threw Zach under the bus. That was like the scummiest thing I saw for the entire night.
That and the fact that he tried to pay him hush money. It's like,
yo, holy shit.
That's what the crazy thing is. I mean, we can probably talk about that later, but the crazy thing is, for a lot of these people that come forward, and if you have a story and you like need the confidence, go for it. You know, like I know it's a very daunting thing to go for it. It's a very brave thing to do, but I'm glad people are doing that. This is honestly, like, despite this current circumstance, this is a beautiful time for 2020 to air this shit out and start anew. But with that said,
2020 is the most progressive year we've had in a while.
A lot of bullshit that's been happening, it's actually because the abuser has gotten comfortable and has been gotten to a point. Like, the part that, like, the one that really breaks me is the D1. We'll get into that later, but it's literally like when the person gets comfortable, and then the victim actually is like, "All right, I've had enough," you know. And everyone has a breaking point, you know. And it's like, it's honestly like sickening to the fact it was like, they know they have that power and they feel like they can do whatever the fuck they can.
Bro, it's like niggas have an ego, right? And then they wear that ego like a suit, thinking they're fucking untouchable. And their shit doesn't smell, you know what I'm saying? They think they got the person wrapped around their fucking finger so that they're never gonna say anything. It's like that level of thinking just boggles my fucking mind. Like dog, like how I don't know. I hate that
That's
shit.
why, especially like, I don't know, I feel like that's why Nairo's case is like so much worse to me, because he clearly knew that he did something so wrong that he would have to like pay hush money to quiet somebody.
And that was like money too.
Cinnpie's case,
Since like 2 years ago or something like that.
Right, and like, but in Cinnpie's case, like, she's literally telling people to speak up as if like she doesn't know that she also did this awful, terrible thing. Like, that's what I don't understand.
There's probably countless people out here still saying believe the victims, and they probably got some shit in their closet as well.
Correct.
So it's like I didn't know too much about Cinnpie, but like seeing that shit is what made me have like no sympathy in the slightest for the situation, because I'm just like, fuck this person, right? Like being so fake like that is like, yo, good job, speak up, this and that. When you actually did the shit, like you're niggas. That's you. Like
doing the same stuff Nairo was, in the sense like she wasn't paying hush money, but in Puppet's story, he said she had me delete all of our Facebook messages regularly. She overstressed that it was really important. I never told anyone we were.
That's some fun.
That just shows that she knew she shouldn't have been doing what she'd been doing.
Yeah. She would gaslight him all the time, saying, "Oh, we can become official when we're like 18, or like just wait till you're 18, then we can be public. But right now, don't tell nobody or whatever." Yeah.
Because in the anti situation, or is this anti or anti?
Anti.
Situation, he just basically,
I respect that nigga's name.
He pled ignorance. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know." Like, bro,
and that's still not a
We'll get to him, because that's a whole situation. We start there, I'm not getting off of that. So
when we get to that, can we please talk about how Smash, like, if you guys need lawyers, y'all are some of the dumbest. Like, their Twitter log is like, "I'm innocent,
bro." Okay, you spit.
You click the link, it's like.
We're talking about anti, bro. We talking about anti, bro, because this dude, right? This nigga gets a twit longer and then says, "Yeah, I did that shit." Everything past that point, I don't care, nigga. Like, what the fuck? Why didn't you check for her ID? You're using Tinder. Like, you should know better, right? She said she's 18, which is the minimum age that you gotta be to use the platform. You wouldn't think to make sure you check the ID before you do that shit? Like, that's your fault. Like, it doesn't matter. What the fuck? I don't get that. Like, that shit. Like, you do need lawyers. Like, dude responded back quick as hell. He thought, like, you know, I'm not gonna be like these other people. Like, that's what it looks like, right? Like, I'm not gonna wait a day. Like, he's gonna get on this. You know, it's like, you guys won. I lost my thing. So here's my twit longer. I'm innocent. You just said you slept with a 15-year-old. You're not innocent. What are you talking about? It's up to you as the adult to make sure you do your homework to make sure that is not a minor. To then blame her?
He should have had a lawyer before he wrote that.
Real quick. Yeah, I completely agree. When I streamed a little bit earlier today,
I was
And
watching.
I told them that you do have to make sure people are the age, but also to put things in perspectives, how many guys honestly go to their dates and always ask for an identification of how old they are? I'll tell you right now, I have never done that in my life. I have never heard of anyone doing that in my life.
Bro, but if you're in Tinder,
so that's true. But I think one thing that you have to take into account is when you're in an because she said that she was.
This is not defense for him, by the way. I hope you all know that.
Okay. But so in Ansai's situation, she knew who he was. But off rip, there's something that you gotta have more responsibility within yourself if you're gonna date somebody who or have sexual relations with somebody who knows who you are, right?
And specifically, and I don't mean to like do this, but like specifically in a community like the Smash Bros community where
don't feel like just because I'm here you can't say anything bad. You can rip the Smash community. It is completely fine. You can say whatever you want.
Saying that in the sense like Smash community, Minecraft community, Fortnite, any community that has like predominant like a large volume of children,
of course,
like, you gotta be wary of that shit.
I agree.
Because like that's how like the predators kind of preying. What was that app on the DS? What was it called? Like Swap Note or some shit. Like they'll specifically go on like on child like populated platforms to kind of reel them in. Like you're not gonna, like you're more likely to catch a child on Smash than you are Mortal Kombat.
For sure.
Furthermore, do we know how old Ansai was at that time?
I don't fucking. He was old enough.
He was probably old. He was probably like 22. Wait, when did this occur?
Drink in a club.
2016.
Yeah,
so hold on to drink.
Here's my thing.
Well, and wait, how old was she? How old was she?
15.
She claimed she was 15.
Damn.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's still too old. Yeah, that's undefensible. You cannot do that.
But what I'm saying is that I also want to really drive home the point that a lot of people that are defending people that say, oh, she said she was 18 or whatever the fuck, like even still, just because 18 is legal doesn't mean it's cool, right? Like for example, the whole situation with like K-Tara or something where they're trying to like make it seem like she was close to being 18. Dude, a 30-year-old getting with an 18-year-old is creepy.
Still crazy.
I agree with that.
That's absolutely abhorrent.
Yes, I agree with the guitar part. There was, I mean, again, there's no defensive in any of these cases. There's no defense in any of these cases.
But it's still weird because like you have like cases like that, and then there's also people like the Buzz that's clearly doing his due diligence. Like, all right, listen, you're a child. I can't, he's asking and doing shit like this. And so it's like, at one time you get given like they should have asked. And it's like, at the other hand, it's like, how would you know? But it's like, I can't really give that a benefit of the doubt if there's other people that are actually like, mindful of this, that you should also be mindful of this when approaching underage people.
I didn't hear anything about that. I didn't know anything about that.
I feel like too, like people like to say like, oh, well, but like technically, like legally, that's okay. And I'm like, well, but no, not really. I feel like those laws are so that like if someone is 17 and dating another 17-year-old, but then the 17-year-old turns 18, he's not suddenly statutory raping his girlfriend.
Yeah,
because they're close in age. Like that doesn't make it cool for a 60-year-old to bang an 18-year-old. Like, yeah, you're right. Not technically illegal, but you're still a fucking creep. Like,
exactly. I think I wanted to touch on really quick is I understand like you might say, oh, like she looked of age or whatever. Like 15, like. I don't know. Like I feel like they would look young enough to where I would scratch my head.
That shit.
Correct.
Right.
And I mentioned that earlier today too. That 15-year-olds kind of usually look like they're 15.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. If for whatever reason she looked like she was older than what she is, and then she lied about her age, and you bothered not to do any type of precautions to see how, like I said, you talk to them about what their favorite TV show was growing up, or their favorite song, or something to know, get a good idea of what age they were.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do. If
I said, did you like Rugrats? And she said, no, I didn't really like All Grown Up or whatever. I'm going to be like, no.
That was 2 different times.
If the girl grew up watching Dragon Ball Kai, it's a no for me as well.
That's facts.
Everybody's like they're skating on the legal thing, but like even if you look up the law, like not knowing the age,
that still doesn't help you. But with the law,
you're in trouble.
You
fucked up.
You not knowing
knowing the age can still get you convicted because it's your fucking responsibility to know what the age
exactly.
is.
Not knowing the age, yes. Not knowing the age, yes. However, if she lies about it and you can prove that she lied about it, then there's a little bit of gray. Yeah.
Obviously, casual sex is a real thing. To try to live in a world where it's not is just like naive, right?
Yeah,
correct.
But, like, if you're not even sure of the name or the age of the person you're sleeping with, like that's just really,
very
irresponsible. Yeah.
Especially when that person knows who you are and you're a public person like that. Like that's just, I don't know, man.
Yes. Again, this was all on the responsibility for Anti to do his due diligence and figure out what her age was.
Well, and keep
for sure. That's 100%.
That like I've never asked for an ID on a date with somebody before, but by the time, especially by the time I was 22, I've also never dated anybody who looked like they could be remotely close to the age.
Questionable, yeah.
I feel like you can just tell. I feel if you are 10 years or older than someone, you can just tell that they're not as old as you. I don't even if they look like they're the same age, just the way that they would like talk,
they would act. You would start doubting it. Yeah,
you just know. You'd be like, wow, you seem kind of young. I don't know. I
agree with that, and I covered that as well, because that's what I mix in with Kitaro, because he was with somebody who was like half his age, and at that point it's like I don't know why you find someone half your age attractive, because I don't know why. I don't know if it's a power dynamic thing, if you feel like, oh, I'm just so much ahead of this person because of all my influence and my age. I don't know what it is, but all of it is disgusting.
Yeah, I've been talking about that a lot. I feel like a lot of the people that are in these positions where they have all this power, like they might be people that never had like very much social interactions or had girlfriends or anything in the past, so they don't. They gotta be. Somebody like
Sacred said,
and they love that shit.
Sacred said the smartest shit. What do you say? He said like this is what happens when like nerds get a platform or get power.
That's true. Become somebody's online, and it's their first time tasting power, and it's their first time realizing they can manipulate somebody to do something that they might want to if they knew better. Like, then you also have a bunch of very impressionable, easily manipulated young people.
Yep, correct.
Like, that's
fucking sick.
And there's no figuring this shit out, bro. Like, we're all normal, so this shit's gonna not make sense about how we spend it.
Bro,
there's no figuring this out.
To us, it's common sense to us. Like, why the fuck would I, mess with an underage person, or why the fuck would I not pick up on social cues on like when a girl's not interested in me? Is like to us is like, of course, but to other people, like they either do not have the social capacity to know, okay, she's not into this, let me back off, or some of them know that they're not, but they feel like they're in a position of power, like what she's gonna do. So it's like they're both at fault. Like one obviously acquires like a level of learning on their part, but to us it's normal. To them, they don't. So it's like there's like a lot of learning and educating that needs to be done when shit like this is like occurring. The
annoying part is like we can't we can obviously we can tell like don't look up to creators like as high beings or whatever. Don't idolize creators or whatever. But the problem is that kids are fucking impressionable. They're
and they're gonna continue to do it though.
And even if they like are told don't like look at creators in a higher light, there's always going to be that exception. Like people are going to see like I don't trust anybody else, but that guy, he's great.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, people sometimes they don't have the greatest people to look up to at home. Maybe they don't have father figures. Maybe they don't have siblings that they can rely on. Maybe they don't have the best of friends, and then they come home, they see someone playing a game that they also love and getting upset at it or screaming or whatever, and they're like, I can relate to this guy. I love this guy. This is my dude. And and that happens. I mean, that's not something that's gonna stop happening.
Yeah. Had YouTube Hero 15. Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
Now I have a question since we're still on Nairo, technically, right? One thing that I guess I need clarification on, because I guess I don't know too much about the situation. Because I've been talking about this a lot last night because I couldn't sleep. It was told to me that this happened with Zach before with somebody else when he was younger.
Ally, I think, right?
Yeah, I think the Ally.
Yeah.
And that dude's out this community as well too. Like what happened then?
Yeah, he left.
Yeah. He was gone. Like I think probably like around 28. It was like a couple years back.
Yeah,
I would say 2018. At least.
Okay, and another thing too. So like these dudes, like threw fights for him as like they threw fights like to bribe him not to do that.
Matches and shit like that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
so
fucking crazy.
That's a little bit of the part where it gets odd with Captain Zack, because Captain Zack forced Ally to throw a set versus a very well-known player from Japan called Zachary, and he forced him to throw the set, or he was going to tell everyone that he was, had a relationship with each other. I believe that was the clause, and I think only because Captain Zack was upset that he lost. I think that was the whole thing that was the catalyst to that entire episode that happened.
Okay.
And so people are saying, well, dang, I mean, it sounds like in the relationship, Captain Zack's the one who was manipulating Ally, but it's not the case. Ally is 30 years old. Captain Zack was like 16.
Yeah.
So regardless, Ally is still in the wrong, no matter what. Just as
He's still in the wrong. Yeah. Like I feel like what Zach's doing is like it can be seen as just like okay, like odd behavior a little bit, but like they should know better. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't hold them accountable for that. But I just need to make sure.
If you are in a position where a 16-year-old can blackmail you,
I was just about.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's like no sympathy. No sympathy.
There was an easy way to not have that be your situation, man.
For real.
Yeah.
No matter how you boil it down, Ally is still in the wrong, and that's pretty much what the general consensus of. I mean, you still got your fanatics that are like, "No, Ally was a great Snake player. He did nothing wrong." Yada yada yada.
He's a player.
Somebody else can learn how to play Snake. You'll be alright, bro.
So I know how we look at it, right? Like it's like, yeah, it's their fault. How is Zach's how is Zach viewed in the community?
Well, he recently just got he had like a ban on him because he was recently like banned from like a lot of events. So I think a couple days. He recently just got like the okay to like, okay, Zach is now permitted back to like these events and shit. And then like all this shit happens now.
Correct. Yeah. It's
I think talking about it with.
Yeah. So yeah, basically that he doesn't go. A lot of the community was upset because, like I said, they feel like Captain Zack had more of awareness of the situation rather than anything. But at the same time, most people are upset with Ally more than anything. So I mean, if you just boil it all down, but you have to understand, Ally had a lot of fans. Like, he was big since Brawl, which is in 2008, I want to say. So that's over a decade of fans that were, and he was a top player. I mean, I don't mean just like he got into the game. He was a top player for over a decade and garnered a lot of people. So there's a lot of people to hate Zach because they feel Zach took their hero away from them.
And that's something dangerous is like still having like that ideology of like, oh, I look up to this person, they can't do no wrong despite all this. It's like the same that happened with Nappy a while back. Like when that shit happened and people started saying like he did nothing wrong, like you can't just like welcome them back when they try to weasel their way. You still have to keep your foot on their necks because like that gives like the ecosystem for them to come back and do more shit. If you keep saying like, "Oh, why you do this? He's such a great Snake." We can't excuse. No matter how good he plays Snake, you can't excuse what he did.
Yeah. Not to divert from where you're going, but I'm sure like I've already seen people in Twitch chat and probably people in YouTube comment sections wondering, well, why didn't they come out when this stuff was happening? Why didn't they say things before? And it's a reason like that. Zach got shit on, and I banned from the community apparently, but Zach got shit on the first time around with the whole Ally thing.
Exactly.
He was a kid. He was just a kid, and he like his story got out, and that was it. He got absolutely lit up, and then this time, more time has passed, more people are coming out. He's still getting lit up for it, but a lot of people are a lot more accepting because of the timing, and he waited and everything on this Nairo thing because it's a lot more believable, and people are more willing to take it in. But if you're wondering why people don't speak up, it's because the more clout that the person that you're speaking up against has, usually that means the more harassment and death threats you're going to get for coming out and saying, "Bye."
Yep.
Especially if they're seen as the positive figure like Nairo is.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I can't
Nairo's a good guy.
How hard that was for him to come out, because nobody like I couldn't even bring myself to read the entire tweet longer. I had to like just hear it from other people because like Nairo was, as I expressed before, I knew this guy when he was like a kid himself.
Yeah.
like coming into the scene in Brawl, like he was like
yeah.
15, right? And he was just like a prodigy, and to see him grow into something so successful, and the ability to kind of like be a top player. I mean, the guy had so much success in Nintendo, on his Twitch streams. Guy's getting like 10,000 subs a month type deal, and a successful YouTube as well. And I was like so proud of him, and to see all this just unfold. And the thing is, he didn't even defend himself, which makes me believe there was so much evidence against him. He was like, there's no way I could defend this.
Yeah.
I'm done. So it wasn't even like, this has been just 100% his fault, and that hurt because this guy was like one of the good ones.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
Yes.
All right. I want to talk about D1 because that was like the other one was like one of the good ones because like
oh my god,
when D1 shit came out, I did not want to believe because like
it's D1. Like,
people like Anti and Nairo, but like when I see D1, I think of like him as like one of like the face of like Smash competitive scene. Like he's been here back when like Prague was like he was like one of like the four founders of like getting this community started, you know? Exactly. And like to see some shit like that happen. So like to carry right at the speed, like pretty much there's a drunk situation between D1 and a girl. They're both drunk and they both kind of like had agreement like, look, we both, was blackout drunk. We both probably did some shit that we probably should have never done, let's squash it, and like in that sense, sure, like they realized they both made a mistake. They had an agreement between both of them, which sure, whatever. But it was the fact that after it, he started bragging, about like, yeah, we had sex, blah, 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 blah. Like, then it just has like this malice intent of like, now you kind of like, I came up with a W in this horrible situation, and like when you start looking at shit like that, it kind of just makes.
Did you guys end up seeing what MVD tweeted about that shit?
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
I didn't see until I saw your stream. I did not see that.
Yeah, here's what ended up happening, just for some clarification here. Apparently, after that situation happened, D1 talks to another professional Smash player by the name of MVD, and apparently he was crying in his arms, begging for forgiveness. And then after that happened, MVD sends D1 this message saying, "Have you talked to Caitlyn?" Obviously, the woman we're talking about now. And then he says, "Because I think she's the one you need to be apologizing to be honest. After thinking about the weekend, I definitely don't need an apology, but I feel that she does. Granted, alcohol was part of the equation. You should know better." And then D1 has what I'm just going to call it a chilling response. He says, "I'm good, fam. I wouldn't press the situation any further."
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
I shook that man's hand, dog.
The wild thing is,
hurt.
he was willing. The thing that really hurt me was like he was willing to get the apology from the man, but like it was a part like doing an apology to the woman. He's like, "Nah, I'm good." It was like, bro, what?
So MVD is the guy that's dating her.
Yes,
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Correct.
That's weird. That's weird as fuck.
Like she deserved the apology most.
They did not start dating until 7 months after that happened. So it wasn't like there was any confliction between them two. This was before they even started dating. So
that whole story is it's still
that's when
it's obviously
when I first read it, I was like, okay, so they both got drunk, made mistakes. Like that's what was my initial response. But then of course this is why you don't just let shit end there. You have to do your research. I went and researched more. That's when I heard about MVD's tweets, went to MVD's Twitter. When I saw that told me everything I needed to know. He was guilty. Like that's
before I saw the MVD tweet, when I saw D1's response, that's what
that's what
damned him for me, because and I'll get to the MVD response in a second.
Yep.
The way he approached the defense, if I can even call it that, was that he was trying to say that, I was blacked out drunk, she was blacked out drunk, and I don't really remember what happened. She doesn't really remember what happened, but I can only go off the reality that she's giving. So if she said it happened, then it happened. Type of, like I said, she's trying to for everyone to kind of let her kind of control the narrative, right? And in doing that, you're trying to get sympathy from other people, saying, "Hey, I'm going to accept my wrongs, even though you're not fully committing to the wrong thing. So he's not fully admitting he did something wrong, but he's saying that, well, if she said I did it, then I did it. And that's what got me is that that's the exact same tactic that a guy named Pierce7D. Pierce. Yeah. A long time ago, I don't know if you guys are aware, but a long time ago, this Pierce guy did some sexual assault to one of the girls in the community, and his defense was literally, I don't remember ever doing that, but if she said I did it, then I did it. Like it's such a half-ass admission of guilt, but it's trying to get people. He was going on this rant of like, you should believe all women. It's already hard enough for them to come through. I don't remember doing it, but if she said I did it, just I did it because you should believe all women. He's trying to gain the sympathy at the same time of admitting to something. But he doesn't remember actually doing it, so it should be okay type shit, and that's just not right. And that's what got me. That's what made me think D1 is probably he's fucked.
Another thing that I guess Shizzy was talking to him prior. He asked me, "Please don't tell me."
I called him. I called Shizzy about that, and like it was like an hour difference. And that was another thing too. How like because Nairo happened first, and then you saw like D1 like bro, you know what I'm saying, like making statements as if he didn't do anything. I guess thinking that whatever happened, like that shit was snuffed.
Yeah. And then fucking Shizzy was like, "Please don't find the 20 He's like, "I never did anything to children." That's all he said. Ooh. So he knew something was coming. And that Shizzy, because Shizzy had D1 doing. He's like, "Please let me not find a tweet longer when you wake up." And he's like, "But I never did anything to any child. I swear."
Nothing screams grooming like I didn't do anything to children.
Children,
children. But I'm like, okay, but you did something. So yeah, it was just some fuck shit.
I think the only situation we haven't talked about is the Keitaro situation, which
I mean, does anybody want to add on to the anti thing? Because an anti happened the morning after.
I want
that next.
I want to go back really quick.
There's really nothing more to say than it doesn't matter if you know that they're fucking underage or not. Like them saying I'm 18 doesn't mean jack shit.
Yeah.
Even if they had everything to make you believe that they were 18, if they were still 15. You still fucked a 15-year-old. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I agree. That doesn't change anything at all.
And like,
I've always felt that. Yeah.
Besides, like, meeting through the Smash community or whatever, but if you're like, I don't know, I guess, I don't know, how I would phrase it is, I like to think that I would never be in a place where if I got blacked out drunk, there would also be potentially underage children there.
Exactly.
Who would be blacked out drunk to make that mistake. Like, I don't know. Like, if I was at a party and a bunch of, like, 16-year-olds walked in, I'd be like, I'm out. Like, this is it's not for me anymore.
No, 100%.
Kind of issue with the habit with Sky Williams, like, at some point, because obviously, I was trying to get into the whole live stream that he had to kind of hear explain his case, but pretty much that was that case. Like, there was a party, and I think it might have been at his residence or whatnot, and apparently, there was the underage person there. I think they were probably with Keitaro. And I guess he did not know what was happening under his own residence. And then I guess people start coming how could you not know? So there was a whole speculation, did you or did you not know? And honestly, to hear him talk, saying I didn't know if it was true. I got a whole lot of conflicting. So I don't know how to exactly feel about the whole Sky Williams case. Cause
I feel like that was a very emotional decision. That wasn't the best way to handle that.
To jump right straight on, because
I think I agree with what Thunder said. I think doing that and coming to defend yourself shows something. I at least am more willing to believe you than if you just fucking nuke your Twitter and then just fucking don't say it.
Well, I'm just saying contradictions hearing him though.
I'm saying for his case, right? How he handled the video, because he was contradicting himself a lot. I feel like for him that wasn't the best course to do.
Yeah, no,
really
I would just say that to me at least, almost nobody who knows that they're guilty goes live to explain themselves on something that deep and that complicated with as many people as were at that party and what was being accused and everything. Right. If they think that they're guilty in any way, if in their brain, because maybe he is, right? Maybe he obviously should have known there was an underage person at his house during a party, right? Things like that. But in his brain, I genuinely believe that he doesn't think he was in the wrong for anything, if much at all. Because his first response was he replied to someone's tweet and said, I didn't do that and I can prove it. And then within a couple minutes, he was live, just talking to people about it, trying to like see him physically, like trying to recall the night and piece together which party it was and things like that in his head.
Well,
Right.
but again, too, like even going back to like, you know, checking the ID of the person that you're about to have sex with. If I'm having a party at my house
I
right
need to know
now,
who's in my house.
I need to know because I can get in trouble if a 16-year-old comes into my house and starts drinking alcohol and the cops show up. Whether I knew they were there or not, I get in trouble for that. Like,
That's
that's
true,
not
but
an
I think
excuse.
also, I think he gave Keitaro the benefit of the doubt that he wouldn't bring a fucking child to his house.
And that's the dangerous part, though.
I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know. You got to know because it's on you. It's
even
on
if you give him the benefit of doubt, that's still that's like one of your homies bringing a Glock and the police shows like I gave him the benefit of doubt that he'd bring everything that's lit. Like you still gotta like take your due diligence though, you know.
That was, like, I get him like going live immediately, but there's no way you can tell me you don't know who's in your house because he was saying like yeah, like, you know, I always make sure there's nothing wrong or like there's nothing broken. So it's my house. So I'm like, so you're walking around and not one time you notice there's a goddamn kid in your house. And apparently,
I think he noticed that there was a kid. I just don't think he knew that things were happening. Like
Okay.
a kid.
Maybe someone like can help like clarify the situation because apparently like there was a whole like beef between EE and Keitaro. It was probably around that whole situation, but I'm unsure about the time framing of it because it's definitely related to like the underage act, you know. But I don't know
Well,
what's
that's
happening
because
in
at
the
one
state.
point in his stream, Sky definitely said the words that like at one point they were arguing and someone said, "Well, yeah, that's why he fucks kids."
Well,
so
Sorry,
like,
yeah, at that point, like
Keitaro was trying to hit on Edna, which is EE's girlfriend, from what I've been told. And during that time, either EE or somebody said something like, "Are you really going to take or listen to somebody who fucks kids?"
Yeah.
And so then that's when it was found out that Keitaro had sex with this girl at Sky's house. But that entire event, again, Keitaro should know better. Much better. To bring, first of all, a girl over, right? He claims, even if I were to give him the benefit of the doubt, he claims that he brought her over initially because at Hyrule Saga, that tournament of that weekend, they were supposed to do doubles, and they're playing blah, blah, blah together, and he wanted to practice with her, and he said there was a setup. So even if I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt of that, you get her out before any drinking or crazy shit happens. Before any type of partying happens or anything like that, you get her, you make sure she is gone because that is not an environment for a 16-year-old to be in.
And that's earlier because when Danny brought up that he would never be in a situation where if he got blacked out, the opportunity of waking up with someone who lied about being a minor would even present itself. Because Zero tweeted out earlier today, he was like, I think we should remove alcohols from parties because clearly that's the negative influence. And I was like, man, I don't think I'm not concerned with the alcohol being at a party. I'm concerned with why you're partying with fucking 15-year-olds.
Like, they gotta go somewhere else. You can't be partying with kids.
Like, I told the story on my stream, like the first time I went to a club, I was like 22 or 23 or something like that, and this was a club that was open to like people that were like 18 and above, like 21 or whatever. So how they would mark you is if you had a bright green wristband, that means you were under the age of 21, you couldn't drink, and if you had a stamp, that means you were above the legal drinking age and you can get drinks. When I walked into this club, I saw nothing but green wristbands, and I'm looking around like, not the place for me, and I left. Like, I don't understand. Exactly. Like, and apparently this is a deeper rooted issue with Smash in general, where people just like throw parties and drink around minors like all the time.
Well, it's because like, Smash is it's honest. Let's give it a buck. Smash is a game directed at children, you know, but in a competitive sense, you're gonna have like older competitors, and obviously gonna be younger children there. So, you know, after parties for certain events, you're gonna have people trying to unwind at these parties. You're gonna have adults there and children. Like I can kind of see how adults and children are intermingled in these type of events, which is kind of dangerous. Which is why I just posted the region new rules, which is I'm grateful for them to have like these stuff like if you're under 18, you got to have a guardian like that. Honestly, it's a no-brainer. I'm surprised why that didn't exist before.
The best thing too, that a community member can't be acting as your guardian. So, like for example, if we take the Cinnpie and Puppet situation, Cinnpie wouldn't be able to be like, "Oh, chill, he's with me." Like, that is huge.
The reason why we never really had those rules in place before, and again, this is just a theory, but I thought about it earlier today. It's because we never really had a big issue with pedophilia, like predatory nature, in the Smash years and years and years ago. Because I know in Pokemon they have something implemented, right, for kids and for adults. I think there's either a bracket or there's something.
Oh yeah, there is.
VGC.
And that makes sense because apparently it's always been like that. Smash never really had to go through that because the Smash 64, there weren't really that many tournaments. Because that was very, very in esports infancy. Esports wasn't even a thing back then. Excuse me, it wasn't even a thing back in like the '99 or whatever. Whenever 64 came out, then Melee comes out, and that's when Smash actually gets on the radar as a competitive sport where people get together, right, in a closed space, and play the game. But most of the people that played Melee in its infancy were all around the same age. Because this game came out while everyone was like, let me think, was it 2001? So most people were like anywhere from like 13 to 16, 17 or whatnot. You didn't have like 40-year-olds playing Melee that often and shit like that.
Right.
Because again, this is very small in competitive gaming. So you got people around the same age in Melee, right? Okay, so then they grow up together. There's no real way to be predatory and all that. And then Brawl comes out in 2008. All right. So now some of the Melee player, or most of the Melee players, excuse me, that did not like Brawl, they just stayed in Melee. So they're still around the same people's age. And the Brawl people, they're younger because this is their first Smash game. They're the ones who are now 12 and 13, the 12, 13 or whatever through 16, while the Melee players who are like 18, 19, 20 are still all with themselves, isolated away. Then Smash 4 happens. And now the people who played Brawl are now people who play Smash 4, but they're older. And now there's younger kids who came in to Smash 4. Right, so now you have, instead of it being from like 12 to 16 years old or whatever, it's now 12 to like 21 years old people. And it just, as time goes on, let's go from Smash 4, and now it's Smash Ultimate. Now you have like 14-year-olds and 30-year-olds, all in the same category.
Yup.
And so then that's why, as time progressed, and each game progressed, and the fans of each game got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, it was a wider area for adults and kids to always be. I mean, you got fucking 28-year-olds, right, DMing 15-year-olds who are 15-year-old prodigies who are good at the game because they want to do doubles, right? Because if you got a guy who's like 15 and he's just incredibly good, yada yada, you have someone who's 27 years old and you want to do doubles and win money, right? Now you have people trying to bond, to befriend people who are half their age, and that's just not good. It's not that good. But that's just my theory of one of the reasons why we never really implemented this rule, because we never really had to before. But
that's fair.
Quick question: do you guys know who PK the God is?
I never heard of him, but I know there's a bunch of shit.
It's one of Shofu and Shizzy's friends. I've never met him myself, but apparently some fuck shit happened with him. I don't know anything about it though.
Yeah. I was just okay.
Yeah, it all blurs together now.
I'll try to read up on it. I don't know what side of the community that guy is from. Like the fact that it's crazy. Like every hour it feels like we got a new fucking like
a new case.
Who we see, like who we've seen for like a while just in the community. Just another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Like, bro, like I'm looking at everybody with the gun, bro. It's like, please don't be one of my niggas, bro. Please, like that's where I'm at this point.
Can somebody catch me up on Zero? Because I hadn't heard about that until
that just happened today, right?
That happened
a
couple hours ago.
Yeah. All right, somebody break that down. It wasn't on Twitch longer, wasn't it? It was just like
as of right now, I think all we've seen is that Jisoo said that Zero was showing her fucking. Hold on, let me read.
She was a sex worker.
Yeah, showing her ads for sex workers and hentai while she was 15.
So
that's
what
about
now?
all we.
What I missed?
Jisoo said that Zero was showing her Craigslist ads for sex workers and a bunch of like hentai and shit at Sky's house.
But why?
Oh.
I mean, it's weird.
I don't know fucking why.
And constantly
The
harassing him.
hentai part you could probably
And
explain.
constantly harassing.
Maybe he's just weird, but why the Craigslist stuff?
I mean, the Craigslist thing, it's weird either way, but I feel like there are some like funny Craigslist postings where you're like, look at this, how ridiculous, ha ha ha.
I mean, that's what I want to know. It's like, come check this out.
Like it was, I don't know.
The combination means we have a 100% confirmation it's fucking creepy. Like,
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah.
Like this situation makes it important for me
harassing
to.
him, but I don't. There's
Okay.
nothing more to it.
Chat
than that.
wants to say he was 17 to 18 at that time. It doesn't matter. It's weird. It's creepy.
No.
Get it?
So the one thing I do want to say, it's not really a defense, but it's more so just like to remember. There's a lot of niggas who are getting exposed for creepy behavior, and like you gotta understand, a lot of niggas who get big off this shit don't have like a lot of good. Like, and I'm not even speaking for Zero, but just in general, because I'm not defending anybody particularly. But I've seen a lot of shit where just like, okay, this nigga's weird. A lot of people who blow up for this shit, it's not planned, right? And a lot of people don't have good social skills, like. Weird, like they're gamers. Niggas has always been in the house just doing all this weird shit, being introduced to all these people. It's like, it's definitely not a defense, but just you gotta get the goggles to identify when a nigga's just being weird, because there's real situations going on right now, and I feel like it's good to label like, okay, that's fucking weird, that's fucking creepy, this nigga's a pedophile, this nigga is a rapist. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think the line should be definitely.
All right, Omega, who that guy that like that like he was I just
Icon, nigga?
Yeah, fuck that, bruh. He like niggas like him that's like praying and manipulative to
Wait,
like
who you
all
talking
these
about?
the Scion guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Oh, that black guy, bro.
Bro, like the thing is, like at the time, like when I originally heard like probably like one or two people like are talking, like two or three like streamers talk about it, and then I start seeing more people this morning like from different like gaming communities. Like I didn't realize this nigga was actually like spread across, like literally like hounding down like potential women partners and trying to like get in their good graces for this. Like honestly, if you see like the DMs and like combos, it's honestly like it's sickening to be honest.
Wait, so he's just a fucking like weirdo? Like, did he do something? Like, what's the context?
Okay, so what he would do is he would DM any woman that was just getting into streaming or like making a name for themselves. Then he would DM them saying like, hey yo, like what's good? You know, I help so and so get popular and get famous. I help them all out with their careers. I can help you too. Just let me know if you have any questions or whatever. Essentially preying on naive women that don't know this field that much and trying to like build a dependence on himself with these women. And then he would very quickly start to transition from like, oh, like you should do this for your stream to like making advancements towards them in a romantic sense. And then when women would be like, I'm not cool with this, he would nonstop message them, email them when he got blocked and everything, like nonstop.
Yeah.
He would gift them subs, donate to them, be like, why are you doing this to me? Like, I love you. Like, how could you?
Gosh.
How you doing this? Like, it's very, very manipulative shit. And he did this to two women that I know personally, and once one of them texted me saying what had happened, I immediately made a tweet because this motherfucker was tweeting like there was nothing going on. He was still
the part that drove me upset was after the suicide of he tried to spin it on himself like, yeah, this could happen to me, guys, if you guys keep this. I was like, bruh.
That's essentially what he said. He was like, he said this saddens me, especially with all the things that are being said about me right now. You never know like what your words can make someone do or it's like something like that,
gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like
accountability, bro?
He's very manipulative, like, oh, if you continue to like harass me or like talk out about this, like I might kill myself type beat. But it's like, dude, this guy is like super fucking manipulative, and I had to like say some shit. And then after I said that, multiple other women that didn't know or didn't speak out saw my tweet and were like, yo, I'm glad you said this. Here's what he said to me. And all of them have screenshots.
I did not realize
that's crazy.
Everyone.
He was spread out that far and like in different gaming, like MMO shooters, like fight. I'm like, bruh.
He doesn't care. If you were a woman on Twitch that he felt like, you know, you were just getting your start or something like that, he would message you.
And before anyone says that the shit could be faked or whatever, he uses the same language in like every. Do you think every person here is corroborating and having the exact same type of language being said on each one of these? Like he says the same stuff. Like
and the people that I personally know, I trust them a lot with what they say. So yeah.
To kind of go off what Toasty said, not to like derail the convo or anything, but that's a pattern. Whether it's the people in the Smash Bros community or Destiny or the other gaming industries, anyone who has screenshots or anyone who tells their stories. Most of these people follow a really, really similar, super manipulative gaslighting pattern. But like, if you've read more than a handful of footlongers, you'll notice the repeats over and over again. All these people have like the same. I don't know if they're sociopaths. I don't know if there's a term for it or whatever. But like, the patterns are there with how they go about being meticulously weird with everything. I don't know.
And the crazy thing is that this type of behavior isn't rare. Like in this Twitch shit, this is extremely common. You wonder why all these women are always like super scared when they're at conventions. Like this doesn't come from nothing. Like
no doubt.
Very real thing they have to worry about.